Hi, and welcome to 15 Minutes of Fame. I'm Jeffrey Driscoll, and I'm not wearing any pants.
I'm Jim Kerr, and I am wearing pants.
Well,
for once.
There you go. Well, the perfect season is over for the Edmonton Eskimos. We're just going to keep going through like I didn't even say it. They fell 28-16 to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Friday for their first loss of the season. First off, Kersey, what happened out there?
They came up against a good defense, and they just weren't able to get it done in the second half. They started extremely well.
They had a great first quarter.
Yeah, they had absolutely. A great first possession.
Yeah.
Just marched it up the field and got into the end zone. But you know, when that second half, Winnipeg's defense, I don't know what they said to them in the dressing room, but they came out and they were on fire. And coincidentally, the Winnipeg offense also started to get going in that second half. And you know, they just came up short. They're not going to win every game of the season. And
what?
I think I don't think they're too beat up about the loss. Minus the fact that Fred Stamps is now out for 4 to 6. That's going to hurt.
That one's going to hurt for sure.
I can't believe he finished the game with an abdominal. See, I don't have abdominals, so I don't think I'm at risk of an abdominal injury.
Right.
But he apparently does and is at risk. But oh boy, that would hurt.
Oh no, kidding.
To finish and especially you're a receiver. You're outstretched a lot of the time.
Yeah, you're running every time.
So good on him for finishing the game.
Absolutely. Too bad he's going to be out for a little while, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll see. Maybe someone else can step up.
But, you know, their final 5 possessions of the fourth quarter there. 2 sacks, a fumble, and 2 interceptions. So, you know, that's Winnipeg's defense really stepped up. And just like at other times in the season, it's been, the Eskimo defense stepping up and making the big play, or the offense stepping up and making the big play. It was Winnipeg's turn, I guess.
Absolutely. The whole undefeated thing was fun while it lasted. But what's the important thing now for the Eskimos going into Week 7?
They have to put it behind them. They have to, play it like it's Week 1.
Absolutely.
And of course, they have a big challenge upcoming.
Yeah.
They're on the road. It's a 9-day road trip, so it's quite a long time away from home. Just in terms of the routine, of every day for a football team, I think it's more important even than say a hockey team. But they have to put it all behind them. They have to just act like it's another game, and because it is, it's a long season. You can't get beat up over every loss, just like you can't get overjoyed about every win.
Yeah.
But they have to go into Montreal and just try and.
Well, it's going to be a Thursday game. Can they beat the Alouettes on Thursday?
They can. A lot has to go right for them, but they can. They have to. The defense has to be at their best because that Anthony Calvillo guy is a pretty good quarterback, and their run game's pretty good. But they have to. First off, the offensive line's got to get past whatever it was last game that wasn't
and get past the injury of Fred Stamps.
Yeah, but the offensive line has to just get back to protecting Ricky Ray and protecting for the run, and I think they'll be fine as long as that happens. But Montreal's a good team, obviously. They have been for quite some time, but the Eskimos just have to put last week behind them and get ready to stay atop the West Division.
Absolutely.
They are among the league's elite teams at the moment.
Well, on the topic of Anthony Calvillo, there was another big milestone for him on Thursday when he became the CFL's all-time completions leader in a win over the Argos. The next big one is Damon Allen's career passing yards mark, which he should get to in the next couple of months if he keeps going the way he is going. How impressive is AC's march to history?
It seems like more and more these days, the older guys in the league are just some of the best players. And, you think that you slow down with age, but not so for Anthony Calvillo. And he's also had his problems off the field, too, health issues and some family issues. But, boy, he's having an outstanding season. And he hit that completion record. Right, he was 8 for 8, missed a pass, and then it was nice. He tried to go for the long bomb for the one that would have done it, but he's so consistent and so strong, and he's got a good team around him. But it's outstanding to see a guy perform like that.
No,
and
absolutely.
And he's a very humble player too, and
that's what I like about him.
He's almost the epitome of a team guy.
Yeah.
So it's good to see, but. Man, I like Damon Allen a lot.
Oh, there you go. It'd be sad to see his record go down. On to hockey now. The New York Islanders lost a referendum on a brand new hockey rink at the start of this month. Their lease runs out on the current hockey rink in 2015. What are the chances they end up moving?
Well, from all accounts, that place is a dump.
Yeah, no
so
kidding.
I don't know if they'll want to extend that lease, but
That being said, apparently the market is still there. Like, you'd be crazy to leave that market, is what I hear, even though they have a crappy arena.
And not the best attendance.
Yeah, so, that's true. That's true.
I think there's a chance.
Yeah.
Charles Wang says he's not going to move the team, but as we all know...
He's one crazy dude.
Well, but not even that. You can say something like that, but it can mean a lot of things.
Yeah, that's right.
Is he going to sell the team and someone else is going to move the team?
Yeah, maybe. Crazy dude. If they do end up going somewhere, they've got a few options. What's the latest on the Quebec City rink?
Well, the province is still putting up a lot of money for that.
Amazing.
Despite the fact that infrastructure is falling left and right in the province of Quebec.
That's right.
They're putting $200 million towards it, and they said recently that money's still there despite some infrastructure issues in Montreal. They're building that rink regardless of what happens, I guess. So they're hoping not to become the next Kansas City.
Yeah.
With
build a rink and then
uninhabited,
get nobody.
Brand new building.
Yeah, that's right.
So I suppose there's always the chance that, and that rink coming to fruition seems to be along the right timeline for the Islanders to move there. The 2014, 2015-ish. Yeah. There's a chance. I guess never count anything like that out.
No, absolutely. And would it be a bad thing for the league if they were to have the Thrashers, who moved to Winnipeg, and possibly the Coyotes and Islanders relocate in such a short period?
You'd think it could be, but at the same time, it shows that there's a market elsewhere for pro. If nobody wanted these teams and they were failing where they are, then it would be bad. But as long as there's somewhere for them to go, it doesn't necessarily reflect poorly on the league.
Except for it might reflect poorly on Gary Bettman's Southern U.S. legacy. Yeah. But that's okay. I'm not worried so much about that as other people might be.
I think the Phoenix Coyotes situation, regardless of what happens, reflects poorly on the league because they've owned them for 2 years.
Unbelievable. Finally, Shea Weber wins a massive award in arbitration, a 1-year, $7.5 million contract, which is the biggest award ever given out. The other big restricted free agent defenseman out there is Drew Doughty with the LA Kings. Do you think he'll get Weber money when he finally, which is, by the way, hilarious to think Weber money. That's fun, really funny. When he finally signs a deal.
I think he deserves it. He's very comparable to Shea Weber. The funny thing about the Shea Weber arbitration thing is, both sides have to make their argument, right? The Nashville Predators wanted to give him a $250,000 raise after the season he had. He's a Norris candidate. Yeah, let's just give him a
little bump.
Yeah.
Just a little bump. Yeah,
so
come on now.
I think what we might see is Drew Doughty signing a long-term deal in LA, but it might be one of those funny contracts where you got
front-loaded or something.
Yeah, with a big signing bonus or
something like that.
Yeah, so it might not look exactly like the Shea Weber contract, but I think he'll have a comparable number.
Good. A couple of baseball notes. St. Louis Cardinals catcher Yadier, I can never say his name, Yadier Molina was suspended for 5 games for an incident with an umpire this week that involved some spittle. Did you see this video?
Yeah, not spit.
No, spittle. Yeah. The greatest thing is they got the camera right there, and you can just see it flying.
He's just a wet talker.
Yeah, totally. And he gets suspended for 5 games.
You know what I loved? I loved the refs.
Yeah.
I love the umpire's reaction. He's right up in his face, yapping, and he goes, oh.
Yeah. like he so literally dramatic. Got slapped.
Yeah. What's with baseball?
Oh, totally.
Can you imagine if a hockey coach argued an offside like that?
5 games.
Jumped onto the ice and got ice shavings and put it over the blue line? Yeah, called offside now.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't see the blue line, huh?
Fantastic.
Weird one, though. But I loved that they didn't use the term spit.
Yeah, spittle.
Spittle.
I loved it. And finally, a hat tip to Canadian slugger Matt Stairs, who's retiring after 19 seasons with 13 teams. Boy, he was on the move, including both the Expos and the Jays, the Canadian teams. He won a World Series in 2008 and holds the MLB record for pinch hit homers with 23. Finishes his career with almost 900 RBIs, 899, Kersey. What do you think there?
The best line I heard about Matt Stairs was, finally he can unpack.
Yeah, nice. I like it. We're going to move on to the GABBYs now. These are good and bad by you. A good has to go to Yankee slugger Mark Texiera, who set an MLB record on Tuesday by homering from both sides of the plate in the same game for the 12th time in his career. Prior to the big game, he shared the record with Eddie Murray. I was really worried I was going to say Eddie Murphy there. Eddie Murray and Chili Davis, the first of those 2 homers homers, also marked his 7th straight 30-homer season. I saw the video. He looked great doing it, too, you know? Like, I can't swing. I'm a lefty. I can't swing right-handed. I can't do anything right-handed. I look horrible. Good for him.
I was gonna make a swinger comment,
no,
but I didn't.
Stay away.
A good to Toronto FC. They finally picked up a road win in the CONCACAF Champions League qualifiers. Yep. They advanced to the group stages now with a win over Real Esteli, and Toronto's had a major overhaul in the last couple of months.
Time.
They've just shipped players out, brought new guys in. It was one of those newcomers who scored both goals in the away win. So good on them. They're off to the next stage.
Yeah, good for them. I'm glad to see it. We don't traditionally do very good in CONCACAF at all, but it's nice to see it. Good has to go to the Green Bay Packers, who will finally get their trip to the White House as Super Bowl champions. Because of the lockout, it looked like they might not get to do it, but on August 12th, they'll meet President Obama in Washington and then head to Cleveland for their first preseason game. Happy the lockout is over just for the Packers. Good for them.
Yeah. Well, it sucked to get all the way to the Super Bowl, win it, and then not get to go to the White House.
Exactly, which is really the whole reason they do it.
Yeah,
they win. It's just for that handshake.
Okay, on to the bads now, Jeff. This one involves tennis. Bojana Jovanovski. Might not be saying her name right.
No, but
that's good enough. Who cares?
Yeah, we'll talk about names here.
She bowed out of the first round of the Mercury Insurance Open this past week in Carlsbad, California.
Yep.
The reason she bowed out so quickly is because she showed up in Carlsbad, New Mexico, and only got to Carlsbad, California 30 minutes before her opening round match. So not a lot of preparation time. But
no.
You show up to the wrong Carlsbad.
I wonder what you're doing. You're like looking at the sign. You're like, yeah, Carlsbad. And you look down at your notes. The wrong state. And then get in the car, driving 160 kilometers an hour, just going, Yeah, that is absolutely tough break. A bad has to go to whomever looks after boxing in Montana here, Jim. Strange story coming out of there. Bobby Moreno was awarded a TKO in a fight recently because his opponent, Brock Alexić, was arrested mid-fight. So here's what happened. The crowd started cheering for the other guy's name, for Moreno's name. And so the other guy took off his glove, gave an obscene gesture. That was in between one of the first round breaks. And then he goes and they fight. And then another break, and he does it again after being warned by police that he'd be arrested if he did it again. So he does it. They stop the fight. He gets out, and he literally gets arrested outside the ring. Another couple of really good things about this. This was during he was wearing a shirt that said "Suck my Obama" on it. As going to the ring, and he was at the Evel Knievel championship. That's where the name of the place that he was at. There's just stuff after stuff on this one.
This is Gabby Gold.
No, absolutely.
But it makes me laugh that you could get arrested at while you're boxing.
No,
someone.
Totally. Yeah. Stop the fight. We're gonna arrest you.
Yeah. Did you say a rude comment?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Unbelievable.
I hope they grabbed him by the ear and dragged him out.
Exactly.
You are going to the office, sir.
That's right.
The final bad this week, Jeff, goes to the NBA and the NBA Players Union. Nothing's happening in that lockout.
Doesn't sound like it.
Nothing positive anyway. There were some happenings this past week where the NBA took the players to court. So I don't think that we're going to see a season. There's already whispers that we might be looking at a canceled season.
Yeah.
Put it this way. All summer, the talk's been about which players are going to play in Europe, not when the season's going to start.
I would say everybody's talking that there's just not going to be a season this year, which is really too bad. Mostly because I want to go to LA at the end of October and see a game, but doesn't sound like it. So if you guys could get that fixed, just for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, this guy wants to go watch a game.
We're going to do a couple quick hits here. Timo Slani says he'll decide in September if he'll be ready back for another season with the Anaheim Ducks. Should he come back at all?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Love it. And Hockey Canada wraps up their summer camp ahead of this winter's World Juniors. Are they headed for a gold medal?
I hope so. Well, you were there on Saturday. What do you think?
They looked absolutely great. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the Nudes, was fantastic. And by the way, when he did score, the whole Rexall place was the Nudes. Everybody goes Nudes.
I like that.
Sounded a little bit like glue, but everybody knew it was going out. Tiger Woods competes finally finishes a round, first round in 4 months ahead of the PGA Championship next week. What do you think his chances are?
bad. He didn't play good at Bridgestone.
No, not at all. Well, those are our 15 minutes of fame up for this week. Join us again next time when we get a whole new 15 minutes.
When you get a whole what?
You'll get
Am I being fired?
No. When we get a whole new 15 minutes of fame, and I may be wearing pants next time. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm Jeffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr.
Have a good week, folks. Very nice.